In the last 4 days alone, La Palma has shown its 3 biggest earthquakes, including this morning, the biggest of the entire event taking place just a few hours ago. I was able to verify a 5.1, making this the largest earthquake at La Palma. Keep in mind, this is all taking place while we are in the middle of multiple different things coming off the sun. CMEs, solar flares, and we've had another event take place. You could see on your screen right now. This is being called a double CME, and according to the experts, this situation is more relevant or significant than the X-class flare we had, which was the strongest flare we've seen in years, and there's a reason for that. We've also got to check on our old friend, the Atlantic Ocean, as well as one of these nor'easter type storms we talked about yesterday that looks like it's a little juiced up. I got your weather and volcano updates right here, right now. Let's go. All right, my friends, we are back November 3rd, 2021, 9:55 a.m. And my goodness, this volcano is unreal. Just in the last 4 days alone, we've had the 3 largest earthquakes, each one a little bit bigger than the next, leading up to this morning, the largest we've seen at La Palma, and fairly shallow for these size quakes that we've been getting. So what is going on here? We're going to take a look at the sun again because there's some significant activity going on that is lining up and timing itself to be too much of a coincidence to not be a factor in this group of seismic activity. All 3 of these 5.0 plus earthquakes took place during some type of solar storm, which we are still in the middle of right now. We're expecting the impact of a double CME, which I've shown multiple times now. And when you relate that with the timing of the earthquakes, it almost seems as if it's been clockwork lately. And take a look at this article posted by Volcano Discovery, which has been one of the go-to websites for everyone focusing on La Palma. This is interesting, especially this part at the bottom. Let's read this together. This could be due to new magma intrusion into intermediate layers at this depth. It will be important to see whether it will be followed by an increase of lava activity in the near future or the next several hours. They wouldn't say that if they didn't expect it, but they are talking about changing depths of these 5.0 plus earthquakes, usually coming in between 35 and 40 kilometers. This strong one, the strongest of all, came in at 26 kilometers, which means they are getting more and more shallow, which means something is going on down there. And now I want to use Google Earth here to try to attempt to explain the significance of those depths. Now I have a line drawn here from sea level at La Palma down to basically where it plateaus out to where kind of the island begins to lift itself up and then becomes an island once it breaks sea level. And you can notice right here, that's at about 14 kilometers, give or take. This is not exact, but we're looking for a general number here. And now that we have that line, we can go over to this chart, which if you could see my cursor is where the upper mantle is. And you could see here, that's at about 15 to 20 kilometers. Now, based on some research I've done, when you see earthquakes at the point of sight, basically at this active volcano, and they are at that depth, we are approaching that 20 kilometer depth with our strongest earthquake being at 26 now, chances are that is lava flow moving towards the volcano. And you take all that information with the fact that the current status of La Palma is at a 4 out of 5, and also a pretty telling article from Volcano Discovery basically expecting a new lava flow or type of eruption. Only time will tell if La Palma's gonna react to these earthquakes. In my opinion, I highly believe it will, and it could be as early as today. Of course, I'm going to bring you every bit of information that you need to know about that and any significant changes. As we all know, this is not the end of La Palma or the stories coming off the island, and in many ways, it may just be the beginning. All right, and as I said, we're going to jump into this nor'easter situation, and even since yesterday, we've had a little bit of a change in the second one, so I'm going to roll through this fairly quickly. I will have detailed videos on these as they approach the northeast, and of course, Florida and the southeast is where these originate usually, so we do need to talk about that as well when the time comes. But as far as our GFS extended chart, take a look at this. So we have this first one that wants to kind of originate around November 6th, and then it's going to roll up the northeast. We don't know yet if we're going to have any sort of impact around that Massachusetts, Long Island, Connecticut area, that area that sticks out the most in the northeast. As of now, it looks like the centralized low pressure will be far enough off the coast to where it may not be too bad, but we just just don't know yet. Now, a little more of a look into the future shows another system that may be a little more significant, and it's almost a double banger because we have a big centralized nor'easter symbol pulling down that cold air and snow from Canada, and we all know the Great Lakes are a magnet for this stuff. Once that low pressure crosses the Great Lakes, we sort of have a secondary tail pulling up from the Gulf of Mexico, and we begin to see that nor'easter shape. So it's almost as if this thing peeled off into two separate systems. You're going to see another one pop up right here, and that may just indeed complete our nor'easter cycle, making that a double nor'easter, so to say, one over the Great Lakes, and then the secondary one pulling up as a more common nor'easter. But look at what this one's bringing with it. Hello, Canada and the northeast of the U.S. It's that time of year. It is definitely coming, whether it's on this day or something close to it. We all know what to expect over the next few months. We'll go ahead and take a look at that one more time. Again, November 6th, we may see that thing beginning to form, the first of these two nor'easters, and the next week and a half, we may see this roll up the East Coast without ever really touching it. We may get those outer bands, of course, but then we get the one, and then shortly after, within a few days, the formation of the second over the Great Lakes, peeling off into this messy looking thing that we may deal with on the 14th. But as of now, it's sort of a guess. My friends, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back later on today or tomorrow with any updated information we need. Comments or concerns, please leave down below. Shout out to Canada. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all